So now we're gonna get into your story of working 25 years at a job, and they ended up laying you off. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Well, at the job I was at, there had been rounds and rounds of layoffs for years. Started with them training Manila associates and moving work over to Manila, and they laid people off. They actually laid all of us off in that department that I was in at the time, which was an eligibility department. They laid us off, and then they realized they needed X number of associates to still be in the office. So they combined two departments and had us to apply for our positions. And technically, I never got laid off because they did take a few of us. I was what was called a coordinator, and they took a few of us and they wanted us to stay long enough to train and audit and do things like that. So they gave us a retainer. So I was still there, and then they decided to open up these positions. We had to apply for them, and then some of us got our jobs back. Now, fast forward, I moved on from that position. I became an auditor for the company, and still layoffs are coming through. They're coming through, even though this company says they no longer outsource. They publicly say they do not outsource.
Can you break that down for people that don't know outsource?
They say they do not outsource. They have found a way to play with words, that these are all, and I'm not going to say the company's name, but these are all company A employees.
Right.
So they took this company A, like over into India. There were outsourced employees. They created another company there, and then they hired outsourced employees with this other company. So now they can say, we're not outsourcing. Everyone that's working for us is our employee. So that's what they say. Meanwhile, they had us, which in my unit and other units, we were mentoring, training, co-training. They came to us partially trained. We just had to mentor and audit them. And then, of course, once they got to a certain level, they shifted more work and more work and more work. So on that particular round, I've heard there's been 2 rounds since I left. But on that particular round, they laid 7 or 8 of us off. I think it was 8, but 1 he put in for retirement, and the rest of us were laid off. And a few of them got rehired in other departments, but some of us, we got laid off, and we were laid off. For me, it was 1 week short of my 25th anniversary that I was laid off.
Mama, you owe me something, because she said it was the day before. I said I felt like it was a week. So, Mama, I was right. I just had to do that real quick. But what was the emotions like? How did that make you feel, like when you got that news, like a week from your 25th anniversary?
Well, actually, I got the news a month and a half or so, because they tell you that you're laid off, but you have to keep work, because you have to distribute your work and train. Like one particular piece of work I did, I was the only one that did it. So I had to train someone on that work. And then, you can get your vacations in and things like that. So I knew the week before that I was laid off. But to come in and you have a meeting and they say, well, we're so sorry to tell you this, but we have to cut our staff, and we're going to have to let you go. Personally, I feel like I wasn't shocked, because as I said, I'm going to talk about God. God never lets you be surprised. I didn't know, but I felt it. And plus, it had just been layoff after layoff after layoff. It's like twice a year they had a round of layoffs. So, we all walked around. Anytime they called a meeting, it could be a meeting about cupcakes, and everybody started calling each other. What is this meeting about? What's going on? There's more layoffs. So it was in the atmosphere that they were constantly laying off. And like I said, we were mentoring and training these people. So we knew what could happen. We just didn't know what would and when it would happen. But for me personally, I feel like it is a betrayal because all of us, as I said, there were 7 of us. Everyone that was laid off worked there. I think the 2 shortest period of time was 15 years. And I think about how sometimes we go to work and we may not feel our best. If you call off, you will get in trouble. If you are constantly late, you will get in trouble. So you go to work, most people, and they do the best that they can do. And then one day they just say, oh, we don't need you anymore. So yeah, it stings a little. I'm kind of like, you don't want me, I don't want to be here. But no, I need an income.
Right.
But yes, so it was rough because I need an income. I have a mortgage, I have bills. But to the upper people, you're just a number on a piece of paper. They look at the number of people in a department, and they say, oh, that department has 15 people. We think you can run with 11. So pick 4 and lay them on. That's how they do it, basically.
Knowing that you had to train people who really ended up taking your job, like you didn't have no resentment towards them at all because it's not their fault. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't. You know, there were some that did.
Oh.
They were kind of mean to them and they didn't want to tell them right. I didn't feel that way.